So here we are using formulae. I think of a number, I multiply a number by 3, then add 5, and the answer is 29. Now we looked at some of this in the function machines. So if you go back to function machines, you'll see how we did this. Now when I think of a number, I can use the letters N or X. Okay, so I'm going to use the letter N. Just that's going to be the number I'm going to think of. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it over this side here. So I think of a number, I multiply it by 3. So here's my N. I multiply it by 3, and then I add 5 to it. And the answer is 29. Okay. Now I need to form an equation, it says. So look at this pattern, what I can do here. So I'm going to, if I times it by 3, it becomes 3n. Then I add 5, and that equals 29. And now it says solve to find the original number. Now, we've seen this in two ways. We've seen it with the parallel lines going either side like that in the previous question. But whilst we've got it up like this, let me show you another neat way of doing it. Okay, so I'm going to start with my 29, and I'm going to work backwards. So the first thing I'm going to do is the opposite of adding 5 is take away 5. 29 take away 5 is 24. So there's my 24. Badly drawn. Now the opposite of times by 3 is divide by 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8. And I can test if it's right. 8 times 3 is 24 plus 5 is 29. So n equals 8. And so that's a neat way of doing it. Okay, sunshine is getting in the way. So now let's look at a different question. Okay, see how that works. Here we have this question here. Well, let's just move it up this way here. That would be good. Right, away from the sun. So, what does it say? The cost of a TV is X pounds. So now they're using the letter X. The cost of a DVD player is £45 less than X. And the total cost of both is £235. So now I've got my X, so my TV is X, and my DVD is £45 less. So if that was 100, it would be 100 take away 45. If that was 50, it would be 50 take away 45. If that was 60, it would be 60 take away 45. So if I were to put numbers in, that might help me understand that actually I can write that as being the value minus 45. And that kind of helps me do a lot of this sort of stuff. So I need to find an equation, because if I add that with that, I get that amount of money. And there's my equation. X plus X minus 45 equals the total cost. Now, what I need to do, and what they're expecting you to see, is that you tidy this up. I've got two x's here. Minus 45 equals 235. And now it just says find the cost of the TV. So find the value of X. So to do that, I'm going to do it the other way, like we did the previous ones. What's the opposite of take away 45? Add 45 to both sides. So I'm going to add 45 there, add 45 there. That cancels that. So I'm left with 2x equals £280. And then what's the opposite? What do I double to get 280? Well, you've probably got that already, but let's just divide both sides by 2, because that's the opposite operation. So x equals £140. And that's how I do those. Now the next topic area that you need to understand and work from is actually, where are we? Linear sequences. So I've got a couple of questions here on linear sequences. So here we go. And let's just see if we can quickly answer these. Here are the first 5 terms of a number sequence: 7, 10, 13, 16, 19. Find the 10th term. Now one way to do this is just to keep going the whole way through, and you can absolutely do that. That's not a problem. So you've got the first 5 are here. And then I want the next, the 10th one. So that's 5. I'm basically adding 3 each time, aren't I? So then it will carry on going all the way here. And you can actually do that. As long as you get to the 10th one, that you can do. But is there a quick way to do this? Yes. Now, when it's linear sequence, it's straight lines. And I always like to think of ladders like this. Okay, you can create, and it says here at the bottom, find an expression in the nth term. So let's show you how to do this. This is my first step, value of 10, then, 7, then 10, 13, 16, 19. And it's a straight line. It goes straight up. A bit like the times table. The times table here. Now, what am I going up in? Well, I'm going up in 3, so that's a 3 times table. So it's 3n. And I'm going uphill, so it's plus 3n. If I was going downhill, it would be minus 3n. Now, the 3 times table doesn't start with 7, does it? The 3 times table starts with 3, then goes to 6, then goes to 9. So what adjustment have I made? What's the adjustment? Well, each time I've added 4. So that is actually my sequence. And therefore, to find the 10th one, what I need to do is I need to put in 10, substitute 10 instead of n. So 3 times 10 is 30, plus 4, 34. And I wonder if you had done this way here, would you have got to 34 as well? But it's a really, really nice method. So now let's look at the second question here. Nicely folded out piece of paper. Let's make it nice and tidy. You should have a copy of this already, so it shouldn't be too bad. Now let's see here. Oh, we're going downhill. We're going down. Work out the nth term, find the 50th. Okay, so we are going downhill this time. So let's just see what happens. As we go downhill, the first step is 10. Then it's 7, 4, 1, and minus 2, etc. And notice, interestingly enough, like this was going up in 3s. This is the 3 times table, but it's going downhill, isn't it? So this is a 3 times table, so it's 3n, because it's going minus 3, minus 3, minus 3, but it's minus, it's going downhill. And now the trick with this one, a bit like you could have done here, okay, the trick here is to find out where you started from. That's the big trick. Now notice, let's go back to this previous question. Here, notice you started on plus 4. Because if I went downhill, that's where I've got to. So the adjustment is actually the point here. And you need that here. You need to know that value there. And I wonder if you can think out what it might be. What value have I gone? Then I've gone down to 10, 7, 4. Because that's the value that sits there. Well, if I've gone down by 3 each time, to go back up, it's the opposite direction. Add 3. So it's 13 minus 3n. And then the question says, well, what about the 50th term? Okay, so instead of n, I need to put 50, but in brackets. 30 minus 3 lots of 50. Now this can be quite confusing. It might be with a calculator. If you've got a calculator, great. Okay, let's see what happens. If I can get this out, good. 13 minus 3 lots of 50 is 150. So here's a trick. What do I add? Well, I add 137. So I know it's minus 137. But obviously there are tricks that you can learn to do or use your calculator.